Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kevin O. Bing, and I'm just gonna get it out of the way. Predominantly for this video, I am using various line weights of Pigma Micron, mostly the graphic, the 02 and the 005. Those are all going to be incorporated into the face in various ways, and right now, just for the outlines and for the hair, I am going to be using the Pigma Micron brush pen, just because I think it allows for more natural fold, more natural cascading down the hair. You can see as I hatch Adam's hair, which is this kind of natty, nappy, sort of greasy mane, which was loosely inspired by the villain Necron from Rolf Bakshi's animated film from the 80s, Fire and Ice. But that isn't the only inspiration for the way I draw, or this drawing here, rather. Like any artist, I am definitely a product of my influences, and I think the big three for me are Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy, James O'Barr, the creator of The Crow, and Frank Miller. Most specifically from Frank Miller would be Sin City. And I think all of them are represented here in one way or another. There is definitely, when I think about positioning, it's usually a bit more James O'Barr, but the faces I tried to make realistic, which is also something James O'Barr I think is really, really great at. He's really great at very minute details. And I always refer to him when I'm trying to draw eyes and noses and mouths and chins, and he's one of those guys who captures expressions so well, and backgrounds. Whenever I do a detailed background, which isn't as often as it should be, I definitely look at him. Whenever I draw the Crow character, I kind of set myself a new standard, or a different standard, and it's always a lot more put upon, because I am so desperate to try and capture whatever alchemy he's using. But for the other two, Mike Mignola, you can see a lot of, I think, most. And that's fair, because I originally envisioned this looking more like a Mike Mignola drawing than it is. But the way that Mary's chin isn't given any major underline. There's no black outline for it, but the way it's kept simple and soft, just being revealed by the shadow, that's very Mignola-esque to me, because Mignola is a master of keeping the image very dynamic with very little. He's known in a lot of ways for how much black dominates his drawings, and letting what is drawn stand out because of that, without weighing it down in almost a Todd McFarlane-esque way. He's almost kind of the antithesis of Bernie Wrightson in a lot of ways, who I pulled an image up while referencing Adam's monster. But not only in Mary's face, or in her chin rather, but you can see here in the last video, I said this is what I was planning on doing for Mary and her coat, or Mary's dress and Adam's coat. That is me thinking trying to think like Mike Mignola. That is a deep pool of black. That is the image being simplified down to the essence. You see the creation, You see the affection he has for her with his hand on her shoulder, and you see Mary. That's all Mignola. Me trying to convey as much emotion through the darkness, letting the light crack out of the darkness. And for Frank Miller, well, there's less of an influence from Frank Miller here than in some of the other works. A lot of what I would try and copy from Frank Miller, really impacted me in his work, was not only the dynamic positioning, and obviously this is not a heavy action piece. This isn't like Frankenstein's coat blowing or Adam's coat blowing in the wind as like he jumps through a window during a rainstorm after being chased by a car or whatever the hell else Frank Miller would do. But you can see the way the white is popping out or the orange in his eyes, in Adam's eyes. Those are all me thinking about Frank. Thinking about the way Frank used his black and white on Sin City. Thinking about the way it kept, again, with Frank Miller and Mike Mignola, keeping it very, very simple. I honestly think it's interesting. I think Frank Miller and James O'Barr have such different styles. And then, did I say Frank Miller and James O'Barr? Mike Mignola and James O'Barr have such different styles. And I think Frank Miller is the middle ground. And that's my lecture on inspiration. And so, I hope you enjoyed the inking process. Next video is going to be backgrounds, which I haven't really thought out. So you're going to watch me improvise a lot more than I did already. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you are inspired to draw it yourself. So have fun with that, and I'll see you next time.